Hello and welcome to another STATREP! My name is Tyler Bortel.
It's your boy Lucas.
And we are here to bring you another thrilling and high-paced, high-octane game of Warhammer 40,000 in the Pariah Nexus mission pack. Last time you saw us, we were playing Vanguard Nids into Tide Orcs, and we figured today let's try something a little bit different. Try to stretch our brains and see how we can adapt to some new lists and show off some less orthodox gameplay. I am, in fact, still playing Tyranids, but I am not playing Vanguard, I am not playing Swarm, I am not playing Nexus, and I am not playing Invasion Fleet. I am playing Assimilation Swarm. Let's fucking go. Trying something new here.
A funny detachment.
They are indeed a funny detachment. What are you playing, Lucas?
I'm playing Mont'ka, dude.
Hell yeah.
I'm playing the Tau.
Good
Let's
stuff.
go. I'm a shoots gun player, baby.
Apparently.
Let's go.
Sweet. Well, let's jump into what these lists are. For Assimilation Swarm here, go ahead. I'm not going to run down how all the rules of this work. You can look them up yourself. But let's actually run through what's in the list. We've got 4 of these big bricks. Assimilation Swarm is all about bringing these heavy infantry units and then the harvester units to key off the special rules. So we've got 2 neuro tyrants, one with biophagic flow, one with parasitic biomorphology. We've got a Swarm Lord, the man himself. We've got a winged Tyranid Prime with instinctive defense. We got 10 Hormagaunts, we got a Biovore, an Exocrine, 2 Neurolictors, 2 Psychophages, 2 Pyrovores, 2 Ripper Swarms, and those 4 bricks I alluded to earlier. The melee warriors, 2 squads of 6 Tyrant Guard with Crushing Claws, and a unit of Zoanthropes to be joined by that Neuro Tyrant.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Balanced Data Slate, for that lovely combo. So let's see what we can do. And what are we up against here on the Tau side?
We've got 3 Breacher Fish, so Quadri Fireblade plus Breacher team inside of Devilfish. We've got a solo Enforcer Commander without Crisis Bodyguards. He's got 3 Missile Pods and a Sib. We've got Darkstrider himself, the King. And our last character is an Ethereal with Strike Swiftly Enhancement to give 2 units Scout, 6. We've got a Strike team to hold down the backfield and apply some Marker Lights, 2 squads of 3 Stealth teams, 3 Riptides with Ion. We've got a Railhead and 2 Solo Piranhas. That's the list.
Sounds good to me. So in addition to trying out some newer armies for us, we're also going to be trying out some newer missions.
Yes, sir.
We are playing Burden of Trust, Hidden Supplies. Burden of Trust, something of a less orthodox primary. I think that people aren't very excited about it. They maybe haven't practiced into it as much, but it also just is a little bit weird. You want to break down how that works for everyone?
Yeah, so Burden of Trust is one of the new primary missions. You score primary as normal, just for midfield objectives, 4 points per objective held, and then you score at the end of the game as well. The same for the person going second. So normal type primary stuff. And then there's also a guarding mechanic, which will, you basically start doing this in the second battle round, and you have to survive on the objective until the end of your opponent's next turn. So your opponent gets a full turn of theirs to either contest the objective, kill your unit, or take the objective flat out. And if you successfully guard an objective, you get 2 points. So the way this works is if you go first, you're going to have 1 more opportunity to score it compared to the person going second, because if you go first, you'll score it at the bottom of 2, 3, 4, and 5. Whereas if you go second, you'll score it halfway through turns 3, 4, and 5. But the person going second obviously has the relatively large advantage of being able to get all those control objective for 4 points at the very end of the game, if they still have material left.
Absolutely. So that is the primary, the mission special rules, 6 objectives via Hidden Supplies, and we are playing on a new layout to us as well. We're playing on GW Layout 8, which is a really interesting layout on Hammer and Anvil type tables, mainly because of these big fat U's. It may look like an L, but trust me, it's a U. Use your imagination. Use your imagination, if you will.
I will not, actually.
These terrain formations allow you to very comfortably hold that expansion midfield objective, but only with a couple models, so anyone who's trying to deny that primary by standing on the other side of the wall will have no problem doing so. We've also got these crazy, wacky 4x6 pieces in the middle of the table that really block off a lot of the longer lanes of fire, but open up a couple of medium-sized ones right across the table in some really interesting ways. So we'll see how that ends up playing a role here. But we got Tau, we got Tyranids. Let's roll to see who's going first. Best of luck, my friend.
Yes, sir.
All right. And it looks like Tyranids. Woo! Let's go. Wait, why are you moving your models?
I'm cheating. That's why.
Great.
No, it's Scout.
Oh, Scout.
It's a rule
That
in the
seems like a thing
game.
they should do.
Sometimes I do feel like it's cheating. Definitely one of the more powerful abilities in the game is Scout. And here I'm using to just get some early positions with the piranhas, which have it natively at 9 inches, and then the devilfish there used it via the ethereal. So yeah, just staging up so that if Tyler wants to come toward this Thunderdome in the middle of the table, I'll be able to pounce on him right away.
Makes sense to me. We're both playing tactical objectives here. And going first, I'm going to draw Bring It Down and Cleanse. Now, Bring It Down is a fantastic objective against Tau. As you can see, Lukas has a pile of vehicles for me to kill, but I'm not really planning on killing any of them top one like this. He's using this terrain here to make getting shots off at the piranhas via maybe my zone threats here quite challenging. So maybe we'll hold on to that for later. But Cleanse, great to get turn 1, great to get out of the way on the turn that it's the easiest to do. So we'll be doing that, no problem. We're going to have the Swarm Lord and his big ol' Brick of Tyrant Guard go take up a position in here, have the Psychophage run up and take a spot there. He's going to be so safe there, just slam an OC3 on there, ready to heal things using the Assimilation Swarm mechanic, and ready to just be guarding a lot. I think this is a detachment. This mission plays well into Assimilation Swarm strengths because I have a lot of units that want to be sitting on objectives doing nothing anyway. Yep. So those will work out pretty nicely for me, but I really don't want to get shot at, so we're going to hide as best we can. We'll send up this Neurolictor here to get the second cleanse off because at the end of the day, you got to score points. And also, much in the way that Lukas is staging on primary, I'm also staging on primary, and he will need to do something about that lest I score further points. So that's kind of all we're going to do here. Nothing too crazy. We're going to drop in a score mine in just a second to try to mitigate Lukas's ability to deal with these this Neurolictor over here and really you get extra deep with that Piranha or the Devilfish full of Breachers behind there. Piranhas move, 14?
Yep.
So we're going to go ahead and set this up 17 inches off so that there's no way for that Piranha to get there on a normal move, and because of the Spore Mine rule, minefields, he won't be able to start or end an advance within 6, so that's going to keep all of his stuff right here at the very furthest that it might want to go, which will prevent him from zipping this Devilfish like 18 inches down the line and dumping out Breachers and killing my Zone Throps. That would make me sad.
But what if I wanted to do that?
Unlucky, I guess. So that's all we're going to do here. We'll take our 4 on Cleanse. We're going to hold on to Bring It Down. No reason to get rid of it because we got Swarm Lord, so we're just piling up CP anyway. Wouldn't help us to discard. And next turn, I have a sneaking suspicion I'm going to kill a vehicle. So,
no.
What are you going to do about it, Lukas? Show me what you got.
I'm going to run all my vehicles directly toward you, dude.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, that's playing around Bring It Down.
Absolutely.
We are killing a Neurolictor here, though, so moral victory for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the trading war started by throwing some Breachers forward. I'm pulling a maneuver here that is the anti-Neurolictor maneuver, right, where I put enough OC on the objective in the form of 3 different units. I'm going to eventually move this Hammerhead forward. You're seeing it come forward now. The Breachers are there, the pink line, and then we've got a Devilfish and a Hammerhead as well. So no matter which of those 3 units the Neurolictor may or may not Battle Shock, I will have enough OC to contest the objective either way. So this is relatively resource intensive, but it does deny not only Tyler beginning the guard action, quote unquote, it's not really an action. He can't begin guarding that objective, and he also won't score the primary for it. So it's really a 6-point swing. And then over here, we're just kind of moving our Riptides forward onto our natural expansion, kind of mirroring what Tyler has done. They're just going to try to apply their OC4 on that objective and protect it. And then start forming kind of a fire base down there.
At a fundamental level, with my Tyrant Guard behind the wall, there's really not much that they can do until Lukas comes to do something about them. Whereas, well, those walls are tall, the Riptides are taller, so they can comfortably sit on there and blast away, having pretty decent lines of sight down this way and this way and this way. While standing on that objective, they're getting lots of good value out of that OC. What are they, 4?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go, man. That's going to be a lot to undo.
Yep. And yeah, other than that, we're just kind of positioning a second wave to pounce on whatever comes forward for the Tyranids. Especially these 2 Breacher Fish, the one at the very top of the table and the one that's kind of on my home objective right now. Those are kind of in prime position to run out on turn 2. And because Devilfish have the advance and disembark rule, it's very powerful with Mont'ka because that Devilfish can still shoot its guns, it can still guide because all its weapons are assault. And there's also a 1 CP auto advance 6 strat, so you can really go quite far with a Devilfish. Kind of the notorious combination is the Scout 6 into flat advance 6. That's move 18, so you've gone 24 inches in a straight line, dump out 3, and all of a sudden breachers are in your deployment zone on turn 1, which is pretty hilarious.
Makes sense to me.
Turn 1, we've drawn a pretty good grip of secondaries.
Oh my gosh, you did, didn't you?
We've drawn Area Denial and Secure No Man's Land. That's pretty good.
Have yourself a 10, brother.
That's pretty good.
Nice job.
Skill game, by the way.
Evidently.
Yeah.
Sweet. So I see Lukas. He's getting his points. He's coming out, and it is time to pounce. I'm doing a little bit of mental math here. I'm seeing that we've got a whole bunch of stuff that is kind of in the danger zone in the midfield here, and we are going to have to make a move quickly. If I sit back and do nothing, Lukas is going to score this primary, and this primary, and this primary. He's going to be guarding lots of objectives. Like, we can't have that. We need stuff to happen. We need it to happen right now before Lukas takes a big points lead. And we draw no prisoners in addition to still having Bring It Down. So the plan is kill.
It's go time.
It is indeed go time. We're going to have the Warriors jump on out over here, trying to go contest this primary from the Riptides over here, and maybe hit a nice charge and do some good work into them. Warriors outside of Vanguard probably don't kill a Riptide top to bottom, but they definitely do a lot of damage to it while having OC2 apiece to really hold down the point.
Lethal hits is pretty good.
Yeah, oh yeah, I do have the access to lethal. I always forget about that part. The Hormagaunts are going to blitz on up here. They're going to try to touch these cars to prevent them from falling back, make sure that they're stuck in place. One of the things that can be easy to forget about with vehicles is that while they can shoot in combat, they can't move before shooting. So these piranhas, who are positioned defensively to avoid getting shot at, also are going to have trouble taking shots if they're not able to go anywhere. And of course, they'll suffer the -1 for being in combat. What are they called? Zoanthropes are going to pop out over here and take some shots down this angle, start chipping away at that Devilfish there. Devilfish, that's a Riptide. At the Riptide over there. And of course, the Tyrant Guard are exploding out in all directions, just trying to take a whole bunch of board space. Big picture here, this is a great plan as Tyranids into Tau all the time, is to full expose, make an absolute mess of things, and then pop your Shadow in the Warp. Now, I often espouse Shadow in the Warp as a great late game tool. Hold it till turn 3, turn 4, turn 5 even if you're going first. And I stand by that it's fantastic for that, but into Tau and T-Suns in particular, Shadow messes with their army mechanics so hard. T-Suns, you lose Cabal points, and Tau, you lose the ability to guide when you're battle shocked. So as a result, you want to use it on a go turn instead to get maximal utility out of that and try to win the game by crushing force instead of by point scamming later on. If you try to be cute against Tau, they're gonna do a thing. So speaking of winning by damage instead of points, quick rewind there. These Zoanthropes, aided by the Devilfish here, who are going to do some chip damage onto that Riptide, go ahead and take some shots.
Aided by the Devilfish?
God damn it, I'm just delirious.
Yes, you are.
This is the 4th time trying to film this. Blow the thing up! It explodes! Kaboom. Let's go. Got him. And that Riptide explodes for D6. Does flat 6 to this guy, 4 to this guy, flat 6 to that guy, a wound to the Ethereal. We are cooking with gas, boys. That right there just cracks the game entirely open on the spot. Bit of a dice swing. Nothing exceptionally crazy. These Zoanthropes are really good anti-tank, but a 4-up Inval one would really hope to pass more than would you pass. 2 of the 6 of them?
Yeah.
Sag. So down he goes. But we're coming in hot. Shooting here between Swarmlord poking around the corner and the 2 different Neuro Tyrants picks up the majority of that Breacher team. This army has a really large amount of Flamers, and we are going in. Now, what's also great is that those 6 wounds done to the Piranha here mean that the Hormagaunts are no longer in tag mode, they are now in kill mode. So we're going to use...
Hormagaunts have a kill mode?
They do have a kill mode. Their strength...
It's a one-wound car?
It's a one-wound car, baby. We're going to kill it. Thanks to having double Neuro Tyrants in this list, basically anything that wants to be in Synapse is always in Synapse. Though also, all 4 of the bricks have Synapse. So the only non-Synapse is, the random piddly one-off monsters and the Hormagaunts. Anyway, the Hormagaunts are in Synapse, is the moral of the story. They have a Neuroloid. They're Strength 4. They're AP 1. They're coming in hot. They're going to kill that Piranha, baby. Swarm is coming in and tagging this car through the wall. Going to beat it to death. The Tyrant Guard are reaching out over here. You can see under my hat there. Are going to be going after the Riptide here. The other Tyrant Guard are going in to double down here and try to go after this Piranha. We're going to see what we can make happen here. We are really extending here. So if we bounce really hard and Lukas has a great clapback turn, this could be pretty bad, but does not look like we are bouncing to me. So the Riptide is down. The Devilfish is down. That's great for Bring It Down. And we got 2 more that we're going after here. The Hormagaunts going after that Piranha, and the Tyrant Guard going after the other Piranha, and the Riptide. So we could even kill 3 more vehicles right now, which would be an absolutely astounding top 2.
Yeah, Bring It Down is not capped anymore.
It is not. You just
can
keep
score
scoring.
40 points in a turn if you're playing against an army of Piranhas.
No, because a unit of Piranhas is
Gives up 6 points, isn't it?
4 points.
Isn't it 21 wounds?
There's 7 wounds apiece. So
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then we would give up 6 points, so 18 for the 6 of them, or for the 9 of them. Cool. Anyway, success here. The Hormagaunts go into kill mode and kill that Piranha and tag the Devilfish behind, or not Devil.
You're an absolute lunatic.
They tag the stealth team behind.
There
These
you
are my
go.
models. I should know what they're called. And let's see what the Warriors can do. Can they finish off that? I believe it's an 8 wound Riptide after the 6 mortals. Not everyone's fighting. These 2 in the back here are unfortunately not able to get in. So I think it ends up being like 4 Warriors and the Prime.
So you hit mega hard, though.
They do hit so hard. Those 4 dudes have 24 attacks, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, sustained, almost 100% hit rate on average, and then wounding on 5s, but with Twin Linked with AP2. Boom! There he goes, Riptide down. We're going to tag the other Riptide and get within 6 of the Pathfinders here to give them an additional -1 on the upcoming Shadows and the Warp check. Yeah, looks like we're not quite able to deal with this Piranha over here, so that one survives, and we're not able to deal with the Hammerhead up here, but they are in combat now, so feeling pretty good about that. And while it is a bummer that Swarm Mode's going to get locked in behind this wall here, it does mean that even if Lukas is able to shoot away these Tyrant Guard, the Hammerhead will not be able to shoot Swarm Lord and try to one-tap him, so up and down. But overall, fantastic turn. We grab 8 points on Bring It Down. We own, and we grab 5 points on No Prisoners for killing more than 3 units, and we pop Shadow in the Warp, and it's devastating.
Yes.
Almost everybody fails. I think you have the 1 stealth suit who doesn't fail. And
I failed my morale check as well this turn, so like it's all good. It's all good in the hood.
All right, what are we gonna do about this?
What do you think Lucas's leadership is?
Lucas, he's like leadership 8.
Alright, relax, dude. I'm more brave than a Grot. Probably.
Maybe 7.5.
Probably like 8.5. I'm probably 100% with you. So yeah, I mean, what we're trying to do this turn, I'm going to draw my cards and kind of let that inform my decision making. I draw No Prisoners and recover assets. I mean, recover is just impossible this turn, realistically. Everything I have is basically battle shocked, and I need things to activate to stay in the game, material-wise. But No Prisoners is a decent draw. I should be able to discard recover for a command point, and then get some No Prisoners. Hopefully, if I can kind of double dip, get No Prisoners while denying primary, that's the ideal situation, right? The Tyrant Guard that are at the top of the table right now are kind of stuck on my Hammerhead. They have an awkward strength 9, I think. So they're not
9.
great at... No, you're not going to kill my car, dude. My car's invulnerable. So they're kind of stuck on that Hammerhead. I'm going to leave them there because they can't fall back and charge. So that'll kind of solve one problem this turn. The Zoanthropes I don't have a good solution for them, unfortunately. But what we're going to try to do is just neutralize the kind of orange brick of Tyrant Guard here with the Neuro Tyrant, and that should be done with the 2 squads of Breachers. They are not battle shocked because they are inside of their cars, which is nice, so they can use the +1 AP strat without worry, and they won't be getting a -1 to hit from the Neurolictor for being battle shocked. So they're just going to unload at full capacity into those guys and hopefully just take them out. Breachers are one of the strongest parts of Mont'ka. Like, goddamn, that unit shoots so hard. Mm-hmm. Especially with that, I think it's coordinated engagement to get +1 AP against one target. Just such an awesome strat when you're shooting AP1 guns, especially once you get a marker light in there and ignore cover. Like, oh, it's nasty. So yeah, just coming on in here, hopefully taking that unit out. And that's going to, like I said, I'm looking for opportunities because I'm losing on material to double dip and get some points back, right? Like if I can kill this unit, it's not only denying 4 points on the primary, it's denying you an opportunity to guard, and it's removing 2 units for No Prisoners. So kind of just getting as much value as I can out of neutralizing that 1 unit. I don't, unfortunately, have a great answer for these 10 obnoxious Hormagaunts in my backfield. I can, like, shoot the Devilfish at them. But Hormagaunts got that nice 5 of armor save upgrade, which, as someone who's played a lot of Orc Boys in the last couple months and years, that is a huge upgrade. Going from getting 5-up saves and 6-up saves against AP 0 and 1 respectively to 4-ups and 5-ups really just kind of reduces people's efficiency at killing you with their little piddly random stuff that's at the end of their activations, right? Mm-hmm. You're not dying to random burst cannons and pistols anymore. You actually have to shoot a real unit at them. So yeah, I'm going to struggle to kill them. These warriors at the bottom, however, are going to take some heat. They're going to get shot by the Pathfinders, who had stood still, and the Riptide as well. And as hard as the warriors hit, they're also like paper thin, right? Yeah. They're just 3 wound, 4-up armor save idiots with no other defense at all. So they're just going to melt to the Riptide and the Pathfinder shooting. I think I'm going to get it now to the Prime and 1 badly wounded man. And that's just like with 2 kind of haggard units, not even guided. Nasty.
Very nice.
Yeah, so making some good progress here. We're starting to, well, we haven't actually gotten any of prisoners yet, but we are going to take out that Tyrant Guard unit at the end of the day between the 2 Breacher squads. So that's like a very good start. As the earthquake ensues. We do live in the Ring of Fire, boys. But I guess it's a volcano thing. Anyway, what the hell am I even talking about?
It's both tectonic plates or earthquakes and volcanoes.
Yeah, that's fake sciencey shit. I don't believe you.
Whatever the case, looks like the Tyrant Guard are getting melted down pretty badly. As you pointed out, those warriors are taking some heat. What are you trying to be doing? What are you thinking about long term here?
I just want to not get blown out on material, right? Like, I have the bottom of turn, so if I can just trade, go parity in terms of material, then maybe late game I can lurch out with my remnants. Maybe this 10-man Fire Warrior squad with their OC2 can lurch out and get me a bunch of primary points. Your army's relatively slow, so it's going to take you a while to kind of maneuver into position where you can push onto my 2 quote-unquote expansion objectives, right? The Northern Island objective at the very bottom, and then the LVO objective kind of in the middle right there. Mm-hmm. Those 2 should be pretty easy for me to control going from turn 3 into 4 and 5, right? So
yeah, like especially with this warrior unit fully sent in,
right.
Like where is the second wave?
It's what the zone thropes in like 3 turns, yeah. Right? Like it's not real. I'll be able to controls in the late game, so I'm just trying to not get my back broken in the next turn 2, basically. Mm-hmm. And I'm not off to a great start, unfortunately, because losing 2 Riptides is kind of a crucial part, not only of the firepower, just flat out, but also they're a great late game piece. They're fast, they're very tough. They have OC4, and they like the lethal hits from Mont'ka, obviously, but it's not like an essential part of their damage, right? Like if they're shooting at T5 and 6 and 8 guys, which you have a ton of, the lethal hits isn't the biggest deal in the world. So they're a great late game sweeper unit to come in and still do damage, even though they don't have lethals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially once my material starts going down, my ability to kill them drops off like a rock, right? It's really just the Zone Thropes and maybe Swarmlord himself.
Yep. So I'm definitely missing them a little bit here. I would have loved to start this turn with even 2 instead of 1.
Yeah. Looks like the Pathfinders are charging in, trying to finish off that 1 wound Riptide, and this Devilfish is trying to charge the Hormagaunts.
Finish off the 1 wound what?
Warrior. Tyranid Warriors. Assimilation Swarm being such a healing-based detachment, if you can finish them off, that would be awesome. But unfortunately, the opposite happens. They don't take any damage. They swing back. They kill the whole squad, and 1 CP off that means they heal and bring back another warrior. Meanwhile, this Devilfish is unable to... alrighty. That was awful. That turn ended up bouncing really hard, and we're going to go ahead and re-rack.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. At what point how do we make that decision?
So, I mean, part of it was because, like, I'm not going to lie, I did fail my real life morale check and was just kind of, like, mentally broken after that turn. Like, I accomplished some things. I killed those Tyrant Guard. I knocked you off that 1 objective, but, like, you had everything else and were about to finish me off. Like, the Zone Thropes are completely uncontested, right?
Yeah.
They had plenty of targets. So the other thing was I just immediately noticed what I did wrong. Mm-hmm. Right away, I realized I don't think it was a bad idea to get aggressive, but not on your strong flank, right? Like, I pushed really hard into your castle and lost a ton of resources for no reason, no gain at all. If I can push on the other side of the board, maybe I can start drawing your resources out more early, and that can set me up better.
Totally. All right. Well, let's go back to the top and see what we can make happen.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, and we're back in the real world. It's been a little bit, actually. I went ahead and took some of these unpainted models and got them at least up to yellow or something else to be a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. But same armies, same matchup, same table, re-rack. Let's try again. What are we going to do differently this time, Lucas?
Well, we're not going to squander our army doing basically nothing. We're going to get aggressive on the other side of the table, right? We're going to force Tyler to commit some things early and on our terms rather than on his.
Alrighty, let's see it in action. Once again, it looks like the Tyranids will be going first, and once again, using those scout moves to get those piranhas up. Makes sense to me. So the terrain's on like a slightly different position here.
Yeah.
I think this might be more accurate.
I just noticed this.
Oh?
What's with this and this?
Both of them are supposed to be both sides. Right, that's why I slammed this into the wall. I get interesting. I mean, I don't think that, like, the Riptides are tall enough that we just see them this way. But I think you end up putting a commander there or something, eventually.
It's because I'm trying to cheat, bro.
Anyway, I set up my side of the table correctly. I don't know what Lucas is doing over here. Let's see how this goes. We are drawing some different cards this time. We're drawing, what is it, Sabotage and...
Containment, dude.
Containment.
The very balanced containment.
Incredibly balanced. My Neurolictors are very good at doing actions, but then also I've got this unit of Tyrant Guard over here. We're going to get involved, so we're going to score a bunch of secondary right off the hop. The Neurolictor is going to do the containment, or not the containment, the sabotaging, because he's going to have a better time sticking around, whereas the Tyrant Guard might get shot at or whatnot. They might want to heroically intervene. I don't think you're going to charge me, but, you know, just as a matter of principle.
I might, dude.
As a matter of principle, it's better to have the lone op doing the action that takes a minute. They're much less likely to die. So the Neurolictor is going to do that. Do the sabotage. Oh, also going to be holy with a 9. The Neurolictor is going to be much better at that than the Neuro Tyrant friends are. Anyway, so we're doing both of those secondaries. We're also going to try to learn from our mistakes last time and have Swarmlord ready to go around the wall this time instead of getting locked in that at L. So, like as you see, even if you win the first game, you still got things to improve on. And we are going to try aggressing here. I know that Lucas is going to try to be a little bit more passive here, but I want to repeat the same result, so I'm going to see if I can goad him out. So we're sending out the Hormagaunts here. Really good thing to do. If you have units that can advance and do stuff that work like little missiles, like the Hormagaunts here, roll their advances, whether you're planning to use them or not, and see what happens. You'd be surprised how often you will roll a 6, and suddenly what the unit can do changes radically versus in your head when you were thinking about them rolling a 3. And if you don't like what you roll, stay still.
Now, what if you had to commit to that not only at the start of the turn, but at the start of the battle round?
I don't see a single orc on this table. Shut the hell up.
I just wanted to maul, dude. Come on, let a man maul.
Look forward to the other orc game coming up soon. It's going to be great. Yeah, so we're lining up pretty similarly. I think we end up using the score mine a little bit differently here. I just go ahead and drop it. No, actually, shockingly similar to last time. It seems like going to try to protect a Neurolictor a little bit with that. No. I was correct. Nope, we're going over there. It's going exactly where it went last time, doing exactly the same thing it did last time. I love that idea. All right, the Hormagaunts, why are they actually going out, though, right? We talk about it in the first game. There's really not a lot of damage that comes out of this unit, but there is a lot of tagging. So they're going to charge on in here and mess up the terrain, and that's going to allow me to get easier line of sight on
I didn't know we were playing Terraform, bro. You can't advance an act.
No, it's Terraform Stalwarts. Or not Stalwarts, Swift
action.
Swift action,
Swift
yeah.
ass, dude.
Whatever it is. They're going to come in here and they're going to tag not only this piranha, but also this piranha.
Wow,
and
you
also,
really annihilated that terrain.
I really did.
Guacamole.
And this devilfish. Now, tagging devilfish against Tau can be such a useful tool because it means that they are really stuck. For 2 reasons. Number 1, if you're falling back, you can't advance, and Tau sure love to advance. And number 2, if you're falling back, you can't get out after. You can only get out after a normal move, or in the case of something like devilfish, an advance because of the special rule it has, but nobody in the game that I know of can get out after falling back. So tagging this front transport is going to make that a bit of a mess. It's going to also create a bit of a traffic jam, as this fish is going to need to go really far if it wants to clear the whole situation there. All right, we fixed the terrain. But I like this well enough. It's a little bit over-aggressive because, as we saw last game, those Hormagaunts can be really great at taking primary, but I think it might be able to pull enough of Lucas out that it can force him into a vulnerable position to mount a pretty solid counterattack. So what are we doing, Lucas, here? Are we putting ourselves in a vulnerable position?
Fish,
Fish, huh?
I haven't eaten fish in forever, dude. Devilfish got me hungry.
All right. What are you drawing?
We're killing a Neurolictor.
You're killing a Neurolictor with breachers? What a radical change of pace.
Yeah, we're really changing up the pace here, the tempo.
The dynamics, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we are doing it on the other side of the board, which is what I did say was the major issue with how I played the last game, right? I kind of served up a whole breacher team right in front of the castle. Now it's going to take the one asset Tyler has over there to kill those breachers, right? Like, they're safe from the zoanthropes. They're not getting angles on them. So if those breachers are going to die, then it has to be the warrior unit that answers them. So that's a very different dynamic than the one we had last time. And you know what? I'm not even going to go mess with that WTC 2023 Denmark objective up there. You know, you can have it. You're welcome.
Thanks, dog. Fair enough.
And yeah, other than that, we're just trying to scrape the couple resources you have here, right? Like you've given me the Hormagaunts. I am going to, you know, you did bottleneck me quite a bit, but I am going to kind of scrape them for free here, which is going to be really nice. Going into this, you know, potentially what could be the Shadow's turn on turn 2. Just remove the fastest tagging unit right away, so I don't have to worry about all those fallbacks without the desperate escape fallbacks type of stuff, you know.
Absolutely.
So, and then we've also positioned the Riptides a little more defensively. I mentioned this at the end of the first game there, but I really want to use them as a late game piece because they don't need the lethal hits as much as the Breachers do. Use the Breachers early to benefit from the lethals and the speed. Use the Riptides later on to cut all the angles, BOC4, and not rely on the lethals as much. So they're going to kind of hang back. They're going to play it safe. They're going to pick off a couple of these Hormagaunts. And then other than that, they'll just be ready to pounce on whatever Tyler throws forward next turn. So,
Makes sense
in terms of cards, I get a decent one, and I get a free CP. So I could draw Assassinate, which gets recycled, and Secure No Man's Land, which is dummy easy. So I got a solid 5 there. Not too upset about that at all. And you're going to finish your Sabotage, no problem.
Nice. Sweet. So going into Tyranids top of 2 here, and Lukas has played this much more defensively. I'm going to have a much harder time breaking in. But what I really cannot afford to do right now is sit back for another turn. As much as I would like to, if I do that, he's scoring primary here, he's scoring primary here, he's going to be guarding his backfield, and then next turn, I can put out a Spore Mine for sure, but he's still zipping forward, and I have no way to keep parity on primary here. I'm never holding this as long as there are Devilfish bearing down on it. I have to act now. I've been a little bit over aggressive with those Hormagaunts. I made my bed, now I gotta lie in it. This Neurolictor over here also not in a great position. Containment is nice, but getting Breachered for free is not. So we'll see what we can do about it. What this is going to mean is that we need to full send in order to actually cross the distance here and not lose the game super slowly. Especially as I'm going first. If I were going second and this were the current board state, I think I'd still have some play here because I could angle for that late game primary, maybe consider a secret mission. But as it stands, I need to win the game and I need to win it quickly. So we're going to try to run up the scoreboard here, take a lot of space, repeat that shadow, and see what happens. So we're once again breaking out with the Tyrant Guard, going after the Hammerhead, but now we got to get all the way up there, which, you know, has pros and cons. On the plus side, it means that Lukas isn't contesting my objective. I'm scoring points. But on the downside, it means that I'm going into the Lion's Den. So he's gonna offer me some points, and in exchange, I have to take his material. I cannot let him trade the material for points here because that's how you lose a 5-turn game. Mm-hmm. So they're jumping up there. The Zoanthropes the next turn are again going to line up to shoot, but this time they're just shooting a Devilfish. Far less value than a Riptide, but I still need to take what I can get. And yeah, these Warriors again jumping out just like before, but now they're only able to go after these Breachers here. Now mind you, killing Breachers, always a great idea. I hate those things. If next turn Lukas just got to get back in the fish and go get involved in something else, I'd be a very unhappy camper. But certainly not nearly as much value as just acing a Riptide. We're also going to walk in one of my Pyro Wars over here, trying to get on this objective long term. Ideally, the Warriors end up over here and sit behind the wall. I end up deciding to contest this objective. I think in hindsight, I probably should have just come up here and stayed there and said, hey, you're going to have a hell of a time getting to me. But I end up going for a slightly more aggressive play here. That would have then let the Pyrovore get over to the objective eventually. Good hindsight stuff. But yeah, so we're coming on out, and we'll see what we can do here. Looks like we are I have no idea what's happening over there.
Shooting some flamers, probably.
Yeah, totally.
Stormlord's going to be a nice 6-inch aura -1 to battle shocks up here because of his big-ass base.
Absolutely.
Right?
60 mils plus those 6 inches, and also the Vectora is also going to be a pain in the tail. Imagine if we're able to get some people in combat and like we're able to get a wrap off maybe, where you got to fall back over me. Like, could be very spicy to deny some desperate escapes. Could be real nice to deny some auto advances if you're trying to get far places. So we go for the big charge here and we hit it. Then we need like a 6 or a 7 or something to go far enough so that these guys get within 7 of this devilfish. We're going to tag it again, just like last turn, and continue to force Lukas back and take as much board state or presence as we can in exchange for this material here. I can't really not give up material. I kind of have to, but if you're going to give up material, take board in exchange. So these boys are going to go try to Thunder Smash this Hammerhead. We're going to try to get this tag. We're going to get Swarmlord as deep into enemy lines as possible and hit that big -1 aura for the incoming shadows. In a shocking turn of events, the Warriors obliterate the Breachers. And then, we're going to contest this objective and go stand over here. Like I said earlier, I think it probably would have been better to just be standing all the way over here pretty safe. Really draw the ire of these Riptides if Lukas wants to deal with them. But we end up going for this contest instead, especially the Stand Prime. He needs to be over here. Don't leave your characters out in the wind like that. Let's see how the combat's going. And up top here, it looks like Hulk smash, smash,
smash,
smash. And there goes the Hammerhead. Nice. No explosion, unfortunately, but we do get to come on in and get off some good tags. We debate Swarmlord's exact positioning for a second there, and that's what we settle on. And we go ahead and after taking a damage from that devilfish, very annoyingly in combat, which is very funny.
We roll 40 morale checks.
Exactly. It'll be time to roll some battle shocks.
Oh, yes, that was my... Yeah, the devilfish kicked in
the
here.
devilfish did damage there. What were my secondaries this turn?
I think you once again drew the go-in secondaries. You drew like prisoners and...
Storm?
Yeah, it was Storm.
Yeah. So we have... So we take this objective for Storm, which is great, and then we get a couple of kills. The cards continue to dictate, in addition to the board state, that we have to send. Because at the end of the day, I need to score points. And Lukas is in a good position to be scoring some points as well. And we pop the Shadows. This Shadows is not as backbreaking as last time. Frankly, that's a dice situation, right? There's not that many more or less units within the 6-inch range. There are just more units in general to get to be around. So we'll see what you're able to do through the Shadows turn. It seems a lot more reasonable. Especially, I'm a bit overextended here, right? We've got a big brick here and a big brick here, and where is the next wave? The Tyrant Guard are back here, the Zones are back here. If you can just put those 2 units all the way down, I might be in kind of a rough spot.
Yeah, that's really what I'm aiming for here, right? Like, you've come forward, you've killed a Hammerhead, you've killed a Devilfish, and you've killed a squad of Breachers, which is not nothing. For sure, but the Hammerhead's pretty useless in this matchup, and Breacherfish I will miss, but I've got 2 more. Meanwhile, I've got all of my firepower looking directly at you, right? So if I can remove Swarmy and his goons, and if I can remove the Warrior Brick with the Prime, I will have traded up in material, and I can start kind of building a foundation for primary from that point on. We're not getting any this turn, that's for sure. The Warriors have seen to that for... in short order, but we will start some guards, and we're going to position ourselves to get primary next turn because, like I was mentioning, your army's very slow, right? So it's going to take a while for those Zoanthropes to meander their way around to get another angle, if I don't want them to get an angle next turn. And we're just going to make sure of that, frankly. Just charge in with the Piranha, although they can shoot in combat now because they have the monster keyword, and without penalty because of goofy wording loopholes. They won't be able to move, right? If they're tagged with a Piranha, they'll just have to sit right there and obliterate the Piranha, which is, it's fine with me. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. The greater good, baby. And we're bringing in our commander here. The commander I forgot about last game, but he has the kind of firepower that wants to go into some of these medium infantry targets, especially like the warriors that have the worst armor save. I think I actually coordinate to engage with him and the Breachers, which makes sense. Getting all of their AP1 up to AP2 into the Warriors just means that extra models die in very short order. I forgot to mention this in our lists. I've got 10 Pathfinders in my list.
You do have 10 Pathfinders.
And here they did pass their morale check, which is awesome because Pathfinders, if I'm not mistaken, have a marker light, and all of their data sheet abilities that they get to guide twice. So these guys are going to slam down 2 very crucial ignores covered guides. One for the Breachers who are shooting into the Warriors, and the other one for, I think it's one of the Riptides going into the Tyrant Guard here. So, again, not trying to get too aggressive. I'm just trying to put enough stuff on the objectives that I'll probably be able to hold some primary next turn, and then scrape these resources so I'm up in the trading game. Yeah, unfortunately, we haven't really drawn any secondaries that are conducive to that game plan, so I just straight up ignored my secondaries this turn. I drew Marked for Death and Behind Enemy Lines. There is zero way I can get either one of those, and I needed all of my CP to do the damage I wanted to do this turn, so I just immediately put them from my mind and decided to move on to other things, namely shooting the guns.
Yep, absolutely.
We're also kind of choosing some better targets in this game, right? Like, last game, it was fun to have the Breachers shotgun that unit of Tyrant Guard, but probably not the most efficient target for them to go into. It turns out that you should probably shoot your flat 4 damage Riptides at the flat 4 wound Tyrant Guard.
Well, we won't talk about why the Riptides didn't get to do that last game.
So, I mean, we talked about it plenty. Big, sad Riptide noises, dude. But yeah, we're lighting them up here. Looks like, let's see, there's a bunch of dice being rolled. Is this an Overwatch? Oh, this is Breachers rolling a whole bunch of dice into the Warriors. And yeah, man, Strength 6 into T5, Riddle to Wound.
Oof.
It's nasty.
We're able to hang on a little bit there. We've got 1 Warrior and the Prime himself, which, as we saw last time, can be pretty darn effective, if I do say so myself. Not a bad little bit of a package there. And there's no... Oh, never mind. He died.
Rip.
Sad. The Prime, however, still up and kicking.
The GOAT.
I think. Okay, he's taking some damage. But he's not dead yet. And he is in range of that Ripper Swarm for some reason.
Well, let's heal when his unit dies, right?
No, that doesn't require... That I don't think that requires...
a harvester.
Or it doesn't require the Harvester? I don't know. Maybe it does. That was the thought process, but I don't know if it's actually necessary. Anyway. He's chilling there, and there's really nothing left to shoot at him, which is nice. But without any friends, he's not going to be healing.
Nope.
So, yeah, we'll have to find something for him to do. You know, there's never a bad thing to have a movement 12 guy who can run around and punch some things, but definitely not the warrior unit that we've seen in the past.
Yep.
So we'll see what he can pull off here. And man, those Tyrant Guard are melting. Fully extending them outside of range of the Psychophage for that Feel No Pain aura really makes those damage 4 just go straight to work and just obliterate these boys. Yep. Especially when you turn off the cover and your AP, 3?
Yep.
So I'm taking 6 up saves or death. Ugh, 5 of my 6 boys already down. Just Swarmlord and the last Tyrant Guard. 1 Tyrant Guard surviving is nice because if Lukas gets a really big set of attacks into here, the Swarmlord will have a 5-up Feel No Pain from the Tyrant Guard data sheet ability until those attacks are resolved. But unfortunately, I think you perfectly kill the last Tyrant Guard. There he goes, and Swarmlord is just on his own now. So we'll see how he can do. He does still have a 2-up armor, 4-up invuln, good number of wounds. He's pretty durable, but I don't know, man. Tau shoot real hard, turns out.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah. Norse cover is a interesting thing to just have stapled onto every unit that wants to guide.
It's a hell of a drug, so... I believe Swarmlord ends up going down here, which means we more or less accomplished your goal here of neutralizing a whole bunch of things at once. The Warrior Squad died, the Prime's still alive, but so it goes. Swarmlord and his squad died, and we'll see you charge those Zoanthropes, as you had discussed previously, in a second. And even if the Zoanthropes weren't getting charged, those Riptides are nice and safe behind the wall there, because they had that nice open lane to go after the Tyrant Guard. So clapping back here is going to be pretty tricky. And I think we're going to have to try a slightly different strategy here. There will be no second wave. Period. And this is... I quite like this maneuver against Mont'ka because Lukas really does only have those 3 turns of the good stuff here. So if I... in this situation, seeing that he is fully disembarked and everyone's sitting pretty far back... If I sit back in response, I should be able to maintain my position just fine without walking into him and obliterating a ton of my stuff. That's going to be the thought process here. Hopefully we get some cards that are conducive to that, but denying his points is going to be tricky. Fortunately, with the early card draws being good in my favor and not so great in his favor, and getting the early primary lead, what's the score right now?
Let me find out for you. It's definitely, I think you're like 45 to 15. You are substantially ahead of me at this point. Yeah. And when you're down on material and up on points, you should always hard pivot to a points scoring kind of mindset.
Yeah.
And you actually draw some cards that you can score here. You draw the other kind of long-term secondary, recover assets. So that's going to be one you'll need to survive for my turn. But again, with the Neurolictors, that'll be nice and easy. And then Assassinate's your other one. So what's the Assassination plan?
Yeah, Assassinate can be a little bit tricky into Tau. The commander's sitting super far back there. He did fail his hazard check, so he's down to 4. But I don't really have a plan to go kill him. So instead, this sole surviving Prime is gonna he spent a CP to heal when his warrior friends died to make sure he was in good health. He's going to blitz from terrain feature to terrain feature, dodging overwatches left and right, and he's going to swing right on into this breacher squad and do a couple things here. Number one, he's going to tag him, which is great. Those breachers have no way to fall back and do anything, and they're useless while they're in combat. But number two, he's going to use Heroic Epic Challenge and try to knock out the Cadre Fireblade, who has, 4 wounds? 3 wounds?
3 wounds.
3 wounds?
Yeah, he's paper thin.
He's got 3 wounds, and I'm damage 2, and I'm strength 6, and I'm AP 1. So, hopefully I'll be able to take that down and get those assassinate points. It's not a foolproof plan. It certainly is vulnerable to dice here. I'm looking for 2s and 2s, but I've only got 6 attacks, and Lukas will have a save. But at the end of the day, at a certain point, you gotta be willing to tolerate some level of risk.
Yeah, especially because that's a 5-point payoff, right? Yeah. Like if that was a go through all this effort rigmarole for 2 points on cleanse or something like that,
then I would definitely want to burn that secondary.
Yeah.
But assassinate being a thing that I can get that can get me 5, I'm very happy with that right now. Yeah. No need to go for anything crazy. I'm going to position my Neuro Tyrant up on the top here on this objective. So I've got 7 OC, which is a lot more than like a Riptide can provide. And then this Spore Mine right here is very important, right? Lukas has a Riptide. He's got a Devilfish. He's got Fire Warriors, Breachers, all of which would love to go contest this objective from the outside very comfortably and stop letting me get it so far ahead on points. But the Spore Mine here will prevent anyone from ending an advance within range, and no one is able to get there on a normal move. So this will completely prevent that automatic primary denial play from Lukas's perspective. And if he's able to get in there via charging, which is what he's going to end up doing, which, that's what you're going to do when you're going to put a Spore Mine out there, he will only ever be able to have 1 unit on the objective, and that objective is totally covered by the Neurolictor. So at very best for Lukas, he can deny the objective for a second and deny the defend, but then I can take the primary back potentially through the Neurolictor, and with only 1 unit there, they'll be pretty easy to munch on. So that's the thought process here. We do end up getting the kill on that Cadre Fireblade. Nice job, Winged Prime. And of course, we do obliterate that silly Piranha with the Zone Thropes. So, good turn overall, good secondaries there. We've started to recover assets with the Neurolictor over here and like the Psychophage in the back or something. Super safe, no need to worry about it. Let's see what Lukas can do coming back at me on, what is this, bottom? Is this bottom 2?
The bottom, it's bottom 3.
Yeah, bottom 3. All right. What do you got, Lukas? What are we drawing?
This is my last Mont'ka turn, but I should be able to make it count. I am drawing, at this point, Storm Hostile and Extend Battle Lines. And while I'm up on material, I'm also painfully aware that I'm very down on points, and so I need to start translating this game state into points. I am getting some primary here. So I'm getting on the board, I get an 8 on primary, and I'm starting to guard 3 objectives, and you're only guarding 2. So I'm getting a little bit of advantage there. And these are secondaries that I can score. Obviously, Extend Battle Lines is the easiest card in the deck, pretty much. I guess, what do you think is easier than Extend Battle Lines?
Literally nothing.
Literally nothing?
It's the easiest card in the deck.
Containment might be slightly more payoff, but slightly harder to score, because at least you have to position your unit.
You have to go to an awkward place, and you have to do an action,
yeah.
That requires some semblance of effort, whereas Extend is literally just, I'm playing Warhammer. Yeah. Congratulations, have 5 points.
Yeah. So, get the free 5, XD, and then my other card is Storm Hostile. It's a little awkward here, actually, right? Because I don't really have anything close enough to go take your Zone Thrope objective, and the WTC Denmark objective has a lot of OC on it. And here's where I pivot my Breachers from their damage dealing role. I mean, Mont'ka's about to end, so they're about to lose lethals, be a lot less effective at the damage dealing role, to a, I'm just going to put OC21 on an objective, right? I'm going to charge that Spore Mine. I'm going to slingshot onto that objective. And even if you end up battle shocking me, which obviously I'd prefer if you didn't and I stole the primary from you, I'll prevent you from guarding. And I will also get my Storm Hostile as well. So it's a 6-point swing with the potential to swing up to a 10-point swing. So that definitely seems worth sacrificing his Water Breachers for. And on their way out, they're going to shotgun that nasty Prime and get vengeance for their Cadre Fireblade homie. So yeah, just continuing to, well, not continuing to stay back. I'm definitely starting to get more aggressive here because I need to kind of wrestle control of the board. The Riptides are all exposing. At this point, they've taken 0 damage, which is a nice change of pace from the last game. And they are going to, at this point, kind of run roughshod over the rest of the board here because you don't really have a super effective answer for them anymore. So they're going to start throwing their big shots downrange and removing the things that you still have out in the open. Ideally, we can kill at least the Zoanthropes, even if we don't also kill the Tyrant. That would be pretty lucky. And then removing that Pyre of War will be nice as well because it'll stop you from scoring the primary.
Yeah, absolutely. I really should have stickied that objective for a CP. But that's what happens. You play into detachment, you forget some of the rules there.
Yeah, especially on that go turn, right, where you like sent everything out and I had to give a little bit of ground. Having that one Pyre of War back there be like 4 points and also sticky.
Yeah, would have been real spicy. Yeah. Lesson for next time for sure. This detachment is really interesting. There's a lot of things in Warhammer that I feel like are in this space where it's like, man, that's really cool and deep and neat. And if you're not like really trying to go out and play the most cutthroat competitive stuff, you can learn some really cool stuff and have a lot of fun playing some of these other detachments that may not be quite as flashy on the front end. There's deep synergy all over the game. Oh my gosh, where did my Zoanthropes go? You bastard.
Riptide got his vengeance.
Yeah, game 1, Zoanthropes 1-tap the Riptide. Game 2, Riptide 1-taps the Zoanthropes. 5, it was straight up, you have 6 shots, 8 shots?
Yeah, 6 shots plus a plasma.
6 shots, 6 hits, 6 wounds, 6 failed saves.
From the big gun, yeah. That was pretty funny.
Dang.
Yeah.
Unlucky.
Yep. Yeah, actually. That was pretty unlucky.
And you burned all your devs on the Tyrant Guard, too. They all had 4-up invulns against those. But but so it goes. In come the frickin', this was the other thing, was that of why I thought I was going to be fine with that, Spore Mine. Was a Spore Mine was wholly within 6 of the Neuro Tyrant there. So as long as you have to come in and base it, my Tyrant Guard can heroically intervene on you. And you rolled the exact number to avoid having to base it, and were able to stay outside of 6 of the Tyrant Guard unit, who would have maybe not mulched the entire unit of Fire Warriors, but would have put plenty more OC on the objective and done a bunch of damage. Like I set this up as well as I could have, in my opinion, and just not gonna happen. So in come the. I also rolled a 1 on my Spore Mine. I didn't even kill a frickin'
get breacher.
Very sad. Alrighty, so that's how that's going to go. We're going to lose a bit of primary there, and now it is over to my turn, and I need to step on the points gas because Lukas has just denied some very important primary of mine that I would have liked. What do I draw here? I got Area Denial and Defend Stronghold. Well, Defend Strongholds, ring that up. That'll be nice and easy. But Area Denial is going to be a little bit tricky. As you can see, I have no real units anywhere near there. Fortunately, I have the Biovore who can spawn a Spore Mine. However, there is this very annoying Piranha that is within 6 of the center, so I'm not able to be within 3 of the center while being outside of 9 of that Piranha. No one else here is blocking in that way. It's just the Piranha that's too close. And now you may think, oh, dang, nothing I can do, because I checked in the movement phase and I couldn't fit anything. But remember that the Biovore spawns a Spore Mine at any point in the shooting phase, including after you've shot everything. So this Exocrine obliterates that Piranha, and now, the space is free for the Biovore to spawn that mine right over here and score me the full 5 points on Area Denial. So
I also love reinforcement units in the shooting phase. That's pretty cool.
It's a very cool mechanic, right?
No, it's not.
I like that it's just the Spore Mine.
True.
If any actual unit could do this would be very silly. But yeah, something to keep in mind as a
the Spore Mine causes me an actual headache. Does that count?
Here come the Tyrant Guard. They got to take out these breachers. I really don't have anything else that could possibly go after them, so it is going to be
The
what it is.
heroic challenge from the brain bug.
I don't trust my Tyrant Guard with Crushing Claws to kill 10 guys because they have 12 attacks hitting on 3s. But my...
I mean, yeah, that's just kind of how the dice work, brother.
But my Neuro Tyrant here has 6 attacks hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s or 3s. And I think there's a reasonable chance that he could kill the Conjure Fireblade there with a challenge. So I go for it, partially because I'm swimming in CP, and partially because the enhancement that he has means that this unit will now get +1 attack for the remainder of the game.
Are they strength 10 as well?
They are strength 10. So strength 10, 3 attack, Twin Link Tyrant Guard, ready to take down some of these vehicles, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be
I'm
awesome.
definitely going to charge them. No, like for real. I'm going
Yeah, you're going to. Sweet. So that was a great turn there. We got our 5 points in area denial, and our 3 points in defense stronghold is basically already in the bank. Unfortunately, we're not stopping any of Lucas's primary right now. Like, there's nothing that I have that can get over there. We've already popped shadows. We're just hoping that we can hang on for dear life with the points that we've already scored, just continuing to run up those secondaries. And at the end of battle round 3, Lucas, you're down on primary. Are we going?
Oh, sorry, what?
It's the end of round 3, and you're down on primary. You gonna secret?
Yes, I'm taking command insertion. My 1 wound commander is coming for your home objective.
Try again.
No, I'm taking the funny unbroken wall.
Yeah, Unbroken Wall, real good, especially on something like this with Hammer and Anvil 6 objectives, especially when Lucas is going to have a pretty commanding position of the board here. So he's looking in like very reasonable odds that he's going to get up to a full 40 primary.
Can we start calling it Broken Wall? Because it's broken?
We certainly could.
Yeah, I'm going to.
We could call it Broken Unbroken.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that'll be exciting. However, Lucas, still having these 3 Riptides here, is able to really burst down these Tyrant Guard with a whole bunch of damage, though they are within range now of the Psychophage from behind the wall.
Yeah, that's 6 at Feel No Pain. Anytime you can kind of line up a Feel No Pain into the type of weapons that are killing you the most efficiently as possible, it really like cuts that down by like 50%, right? Because every time they would kill a guy, 50% of the time they don't. So... there's obviously different math in that, but you can kind of think of it like that. Like, you get hit by 2 damage, you introduce a Feel No Pain, it's super good. If you get hit by 3 damage and you have 3 wounds, it's super good, type of thing. So yeah, these guys are definitely dying slower than Swarmlord's boys. Part of that is because Mont'ka Tau is over.
It is. No equals few.
Yep.
And you've burned all your devs, so they're all getting some kind of save.
Yes.
And your marker lights are a little harder to come by? Not really.
Not really. I've preserved the stealth suits, which is definitely something I've noticed is absolutely essential in Tau. You can be tempting to use their infiltrate ability to take early board control. Don't fool yourself. They're for holding your backfield and guiding continuously throughout the game. The reroll 1 hit and mood is just too important to pass up. If you want little shitty units to throw away early, use Krutox and Piranhas. Don't use your stealth suits for that. That's trolling.
Mm-hmm. Now, on the back of that Feel No Pain, it looks like we have 1 Tyrant Guard surviving.
Yes, sir.
Lucas comes in and goes for the tank shock, but it is insufficient. So that man's is hanging on, and we are going to finally see some good old-fashioned Assimilation Swarm heals going on here in a sec. Very exciting.
For the first time in 2 games.
It's going to happen, dude. I do auto-pass them because I'm so scared, even though they're Synapse and leads. They're like lead 7. Or lead 6 on a Neuro Tyrant? Anyway. I don't care. I'm not rolling anything. I'm spending a damn command point. I got so many of them anyway. So we're going to go ahead and heal, get another Tyrant Guard back. And then, this is one of my favorite moves with Assimilation Swarm. We're going to advance the Spore Mine forward so that it dies on the Riptide. And then that is a unit that died within 6. So the Harvester is going to be able to heal again. And in the movement phase, not the same as the command phase, the Tyrant Guard resurrect another Tyrant Guard. So where there was 1, there are now 3, and they are bearing down on this Riptide with their Strength 10 Twin Length 3 attack apiece.
Oh,
look out! They're coming in hot. Mind you, one of them is still damaged from last turn because the heal either heals D3 wounds or brings a guy back. And shocker, I'm bringing a guy back.
Coward.
But we'll see how it goes. This turn we draw. Cleanse and Overwhelming Force. That is a great set of draws. We are able to get the job done here with this Exocrine walking up and taking shots down one of these lanes, I forget which one, to shoot at the Breachers almost knocks him down, leaves him at one guy, and the Biovore lobs a Spore Mine cross court and picks him up. 3 points on Overwhelming. Let's go. We'll see if we can also kill this Riptide for 2 more. Spoiler alert, that's not real. The Riptide fights first and kicks my Tyrant Guard in the face. And it dies.
The GOAT! Riptides are actually not bad in combat.
They're not
to be
terrible.
fair.
Yeah.
Especially because again, don't 100% quote me on this because this is the first time I played this army, but I'm pretty sure the reroll strat that you use, the stupid broken Mont'ka reroll strat, works in melee as well. Pretty so spicy. All of a sudden, the 3 Riptides charge in, and they have 18 attacks, hitting on 5s, rolling the hit at 602. Like, you can definitely just, especially if your opponent does a bad armor save, you just beat them down with the funny fists.
Totally. So we'll get our cleanse here, and we'll get our Overwhelming there, but that's kind of all that we're getting. We've obviously started another guard with more of our Psychophages here, but we're gonna see what we can do, and we're going on into. Is this already bottom 5?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's see what you can do, Lucas. What do you got?
Overwhelming, and another card. Recover assets. So that's easy, right? Like the Fire Warriors do recover. The stealth suits on the Northern Island objective at the very bottom are also doing recover. So that's a solid 3. And then our Overwhelming just happened right there. We killed the Bodyguard and the Neurotitan himself with the remaining firepower we've got. And we're going to grab ourselves a 12 on primary. Tyler will get... we'll come back to that in a second. We got a 12 on primary. We grab our 20 on Unbroken Wall, bringing us to a clean and even 40. And on secondaries, we score ourselves an 8, which means we win by 1.
Let's go. Oh! But I'm going in first, so I am defending at the end of bottom 5 on the home field, even if Lucas took over the other one. And we're grabbing 2 points at the very end of the game to swing it back in my favor. Was it 77, 78?
Yep.
Awesome. Great game, man. This was a super wild back and forth. While it looked a little bit sketchy there for the Tyranids for a while, at the end of the day, points are what matters, and we were able to pick up a whole lot of them while denying Lucas a bunch, and he just wasn't able to swing it back, even with the great primary. How much primary did I end up with in this game? I think that's kind of
you maxed your secondaries.
Yeah.
But I beat you on primary. Yeah, you had 28.
Yeah, I got only 28 primary, which is not a whole lot, but it's enough to hang on here with the 40 secondary. Lucas getting the full 40.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, insane amount of primary there. Getting the full 40. And it's very funny because it's 40 with or without the secret mission.
Yes, that's correct.
So 40 primary for Lucas. Who knows whether it was the right color or not? Doesn't matter. It's a 40. But only 27 secondary with that full dead turn on turn 2 when so much of his stuff was battle shocked and couldn't do actions. And he wasn't able to score or a lot of primary in the first place there, which put him in the position to need to take that secret mission or to just lose out on points and get this points at the end of the game. So great game, man. Super fun. How are you feeling about Mont'ka?
Really fun. I like the speed. I like the flexibility. I like that it kind of pigeonholes you into a certain play style. I like those kind of armies that have strong upsides and downsides. This is an army that really likes going fast and shooting hard, but you need to play the game in the first 3 turns, so it kind of punishes you for being a coward, which is cool. So, I'm having a blast, and I'm hoping to play this a couple more times.
Hell yeah, man. Assimilation Swarm is a very fun detachment. This list has a couple of glaring weaknesses. I definitely overestimated how many of the Harvester units I really need to operate the rules. I should focus more on using those Harvester units to do the other stuff. The Psychophages being so cheap with access to that Fort Feel No Pain. I think I really want that big unit of 3 Pyrovores. It was in the list for a while. It ended up getting cut. Yeah. But the ability to park 2 80s right here and a third one out here on the objective, knowing very well that if this one dies, he's just getting respawned and they have access to a reactive Fort Feel No Pain. If you point something at them that might be big enough to kill all 3 of them, that is like the saucy combo in this detachment that I need to be taking better advantage of.
Revive, sticky objectives.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's hard to remove that primary. Mm-hmm. Are Pyrovores OC2 or are they just 1?
They're just 1, unfortunately. Okay. So you can totally get over there and stand next to them. But also, if you do that and then go and start killing stuff, you might contest with an OC1 thing, kill this guy, and then suddenly he respawns over here. Mm-hmm. So there's definitely a bit of back and forth and options.
You guys also have the You Killed Kenny strat, right?
We do have You Killed Kenny.
If you manage to kill that big unit, you can just super punish the unit that did.
Absolutely. That was part of the reason I was excited to put this Ripper Storm over here, is I was hoping to get to pull that off. Didn't really have any opportunity to do so because by the time he died, everything that wanted to kill the Riptide was also dead.
Rip.
But
Rip.
Tide.
Fuck you for that.
Anyway, we hope you enjoyed this stat rep and learned a thing or two. Drop a comment if you've got any particular matchups that you'd like to see or armies that you enjoy playing with. We've got access to basically everything between ourselves and our compatriots up here. And check out the main show if you're coming into if you're seeing this channel for the first time through this. We do run a number of weekly podcasts. Ours is called Take All Comers. It's currently recording these days on Monday afternoons at 4:30 Pacific. But also we've got Stat Check, and we've got Enter the Matrix, and sometimes X and 1, and we've got Champions of 40K. Lots of great stuff to see. Make sure to check it all out. If you're interested in getting some great miniatures or miniature-related paraphernalia, check out some of the links in the description to get a great deal off from some of our sponsors. And if you're interested in keeping the conversation going, you can either check out our Patreon exclusive Discord, again, link in the description, for $5 a month. You can keep chatting with us and also the rest of our great community. And if you're interested in taking it a full step further and getting a little bit of coaching, head over to stat-check.com/coaching, also linked in the description, to see if any of those plans might be more something you're looking for. Anyway, that all being said and done, thank you so much for joining us. I've been Tyler.
Tava! I'm Lucas.
And we'll catch you in the next one. Take care, everyone.
For the greater good.